Okay, I'm hoping that this works a lot better. You know, don't tell me to fuck unless you're trying to get down, right? That's what I'm all about. But, not really. It's more about this RuneScape. I got these 30 marks. But I think the problem was my device was registering a different microphone before, so it wasn't using this one, and now my main problem is oh, there we go, that's what I gotta do. I gotta turn the sound up in my ear, and that way I can hear the sound. But if I just turn it down, then I won't have to hear it, so either way is still good. I'm just gonna turn it down, and that way I don't hear an echo, I don't hear my own voice, I don't hear anything. All I hear is the sound of guns. No, I'm just kidding. But what I do hear is that I've memorized all 196 countries. There's 197 if you include Palestine, and the quiz I like is on jetpunk.com, and it's just 196, and that includes Taiwan. And one thing I've learned in my studies about politics is that it's all very childish, and that Taiwan, for example, doesn't recognize mainland China as a country, even though they're like obviously their own country, like they're in the UN and all that. So everything's kind of wonky, you know, like people can't just figure this shit out and be like, yo, like you get this, you get that, you know, like what they should all do is just come to me and be like, you know, divvy up this land, we've got all these parties, you know, if anybody tries to do any sort of military invasions after we divvy everything up, then that means, you know, we have all these, we've got alliances sorted in order to knock it down. So basically the idea is that no one nation can be more powerful than any alliance, like in terms of military strength. So what's the deal with the US like getting all their military power? Like there's obviously something going on in terms of the politics, like and so there's like a reason why they would do that, but part of it could be just not very well motivated, like motivated with ill means. You know, a lot of people I know are cynical about the American military, but it's sort of tricky like that way that works. Like if we need military at all, maybe there's a difference, like because national defense is like internal affairs as well. Like there's this idea of like states' rights. Like imagine if we were to merge all of the countries in the world into a single country. We would still need military, right? Because there's still going to be conflicts. Like say the Russians, like even if we have a global federation, like the Russian country is still invading Ukraine, so like what are we supposed to do? We have to put a stop to that, or else we have to like help in some other way for people who are affected negatively by that war that's ongoing. Like this, what we need is a governmental system that's like really fundamentally based like on truth and scientific empirical study, and not necessarily class equality, but truth really is what's important. Like as long as people can know what's really going on, then and obviously there's going to be some degree of privacy. Like people aren't going to necessarily know what's going on in terms of international affairs. Like say for example we have a country that runs things a certain way, like in a technocratic way. That doesn't mean we know anything about other countries. There's definitely room, like people talk about how democracy is like the least bad of all the systems we have that work, right? So there's a better system in theory, like using science as a foundation for our decision making, so that anybody can commit a study and the outliers are removed, and we come to reasonable conclusions based on scientific study that can be easily done. Like the whole point of science is that we create consensus based on repeatable experimentation, right? So we need to make the experimentation as repeatable as possible so that it's really easy for anybody to do science, and that way we can have a really strong foundation for our technocracy. And a tricky thing about technocracy, if I'll just go directly into this new idea, is that it's not always easy to apply science to policy making, because policy is not always based on a large pool of empirical data. So, you know, how would a technocracy respond to a respond to a pandemic, for example, right? We would need to figure out a way that it would work. My kettle just finished boiling, so I'm going to make some noodles. Thanks for watching this episode, Group Ironman Daily. I'll make another one once I'm moving to the new course. Cheers. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see new episodes, because otherwise you'd have to watch the playlist, and I'll include the link to the playlist in the description. Goodbye.